all five, the sound increases, and there is perfect sound. So for us to even clap, you need to have these five fingers, five of them properly in place, and then your clapping will be perfect. Just the same way, um, for us to have the full harmony, these five will be very much supportive in your life. And if you keep it lifetime, you will have less things to worry about. For example, someone who commits to killing beings will experience some force of karma within their own lifetime, and they may not know when their life will end. And it is obvious, in the teachings that when somebody has died in young age, the Buddha would pull a story saying that this person did a lot of killings, ending somebody's life before it was supposed to end, before it was supposed to naturally end. Because of this reason, this person will have a short lifetime for many births to come. And we normally do not see that part in our own being here. As human beings, we don't see the karmic force. In some cases, we know that, we had a butcher during the Buddha's time. There was this man. He had killed pigs all the time, and because of that, there were noises when he came closer to dying. There were noises of him screaming, and this happened day and night. And monks who were going on alms round heard that these noises are coming from the morning, and then monks who were able to hear it from the monastery, like even at night, that these noises are coming. They thought this man is continuing to kill day and night, and then they made an inquiry about it. They went to the Buddha to discuss about it, and they said, this man, he is so fortunate to live so near the monastery, but he never has stopped his commitment to killing. And the Buddha said, no, this man is now reaching the end of his life. He's screaming like a pig. He himself experiences the pain that he gave to those pigs in his own lifetime. So this is somewhat frightening to all of us. If we think about it, we don't even know whether we will fall into a situation like that we will lose our own mind. You only hear the noises of pigs screaming, and you will be also imitating that toward the end of your life. So think about that whether you want to be embarrassed this way and continue these wrongdoings. This is bodily behavior, but you have taken it mentally as a commitment. Therefore, you would continue doing it without stopping it. So what is really the first precept is for us about, you may think about the first precept in a new way. You will think like this. First precept is about taking the opportunity, cutting somebody's life when they have full lifetime to live. Cut, directly, intentionally ending somebody's life without letting them have a full life on their own. In the United States, you see there have been tons of murders, gun violence. The most recent one, I believe, is from the FedEx facility. A 19-year-old man entering the FedEx facility and taking lives. And this is because this man owned a gun, and according to the law, when you come of the age, you will be able to own a weapon like that. Weapons are for people who really, who are suffering from fear. If you do not suffer from any fear, you don't need a weapon. So those who really own weapons are people who have so much fear in them. This is how we look at it. If you even threaten them a little bit, they will pee in their pants. That's how much fear they have about their own life. And that may come from previous life, previous lives, or some, all these politicians or people sometimes own, also those who commit crimes own weapons. That is because they know that their karma can be after them anytime. Some people who have not done any wrong, they don't feel like they need to own a gun to protect themselves. They are ready to die. If it happens that way, that somebody takes their life by force, they let it happen. And if you can think of Moggallana's character, Venerable Moggallana, who had the highest psychic powers, second only to the Buddha, when he saw the karmic force coming behind him, he escaped. He disappeared into the air in that cave, but the bandits managed to finally he surrendered finally in investigating what is really happening, that why are they after me again and again. And then he surrendered finally to the bandits, and he let them take his life. He knew that is inevitably because he, in a previous life, he took his parents to a forest because of his wife, saying, these parents are useless, that they are giving me so much work. This is too much work for me. And listening to his wife, he boarded his parents to a wheel cart and brought them to a jungle. And on the way, he told his parents that there will be bandits in this forest. And he ended up, pretending like he is, the bandits have come in the middle of the forest, and he was beating them so hard. And in the meantime, his parents were telling, like, please, spare my son. Do not do any harm to him. He is innocent. He was taking us to visit some family in the, outside of the jungle, on the other side of the jungle. And this is the wish of parents, that they did not want any harm. They were like, we are older. You can take our lives and our possessions, but please spare our son. This was so much love that those parents had toward the son. However, this man, in his previous life, imagine someone like Moggallana committing that kind of a crime, being fooled by the advice of his wife. So karma that way, it's a very heinous karma, that you beat your parents and abandon them in the forest. They will starve and they would die. This is one of the gravest offenses in Buddhism. There are 5 grave offenses: killing your mother, killing your father, and shedding blood of the Buddha, killing an arahant, and also causing schism. Schism means dividing monks, like the Buddha's cousin did, Devadatta. He spoke to the monks and said, I am more serious than the Buddha. I am a lifetime vegetarian, and he was giving all these things. And these monks were fascinated with this kind of teachings and went after Devadatta. And by doing that, they went into wrong views until Venerable Sariputta and Moggallana went to rescue these monks. When these 2 monks came, Devadatta thought, oh, wow, even Sariputta and Moggallana are abandoning the Buddha and coming to me. But in the end, what really happened was Sariputta and Moggallana gave nice Dhamma talks, and the monks understood. And think about this. Why did the Buddha not promulgate something like monks should be perfectly vegetarian for lifetime? That is because there was a rule placed by him that monks should accept whatever is offered if the animal is not killed for you, if you do not have any doubt that this animal was killed for you, if you do not have any doubt that if you are clear that this animal was not killed for you, then you can have it. If it died from natural causes that they normally kill, and that you didn't know that this was being offered because you don't have a choice, so you just have it. If you are used to having it, you just have it just for the sake of surviving, not out of greediness. So I would suggest to people to think in terms of, if you are a monk in your lifetime, that you happen to go to northeastern Thailand, where you will be given the village food offered by people. And sometimes, you know that I have been close to Venerable Ajahn Brahm in my translations, and he was telling stories like sometimes he only got a boiled frog for his food, just a boiled frog, and just a little bit of sticky rice on the side. And some monks didn't know that this boiled frog had a bladder, and that they would squeeze it trying to have a little bit of food, and whatever is inside the bladder would just spread everywhere on other monks. So these are like some disgusting situations, but on the side, I like to share it because for the strict practices of monks, since they don't, in some places, they don't store food and keep for the next day, they don't spend time on cooking, they just survive on what is being offered to them. And therefore, Buddhism survived outside of the world. Because I think I may have told this to you that last 2 weeks ago, I was giving a talk to people from Jain tradition, Jainism, beautiful group of people. We were exchanging about Buddhism and Jainism, observing similarities. It came from a friend of mine, a professor who is working in a university, and he put me in touch with this other professor. So this was a class speech. In it, we were comparing Buddhism with Jainism. Jainism is about extreme avihimsa, absolute non-harming of any being. And I was telling a point that Buddhism did not survive in India at some point. And immediately after that, their group leader said, for the same reasons, we wonder why Jainism did not survive outside the world. Now, when this was said, it was very interesting to me that Buddhism survived outside of the world and Jainism did not survive outside of India. And in India, they were traveling from place to place like Buddhist monks did, spreading Buddhism. And King Asoka, in the third, I think it was during 3rd century, or 2nd century, I don't remember that exactly well, somewhere in 200 something BC, 262, and he spread Buddhism all throughout the world. If the Buddha put a rule that, strict rules that monks should not blend with the environments, that if they should accept whatever is being offered and consume it, sometimes some monks would not dwell in areas where there were only the meat eaters, and the message of the Buddhism will not go into those places. When Buddhism came to Sri Lanka by King Ashoka's son, Arahant Mahinda, the king was hunting, right? The king was hunting, and the Arahant Mahinda said, Samana Mayang Maharaja, monks, great king, we are monks, we are recluses. Dhammaraja Savaka, we are the disciples of Dhammaraja, King Dhamma. Taveva Anukampaya, Jambudipa Idhagata, for the benefit of you, we came from Jambudipa to this land. And the king abandoned his hunting and surrendered, and he bowed down to these monks, that they had super abilities, that they were well prepared to spread Buddhism, and eventually Sri Lanka became a Dhamma land. The king was giving the king stopped hunting afterwards and became a Buddhist king. Even his queen Anula became a Buddhist nun eventually, and that is because of the influence of our uh, Arahant Mahinda's sister Sanghamita, who also went to Sri Lanka with the sapling of the Bodhi tree and established Buddhist order in Sri Lanka. So that's like a little story, but about like how flexible Buddhism is in terms of these precepts. This is not telling us to go strict about it. If you are a meat eater, try to be beneficial to the society. If you happen to eat that, spread loving kindness to those beings. That whoever sacrificed life to feed my hunger, I owe you, and I will commit to doing good and safeguarding animals, rescuing animals, and I will be a safe refuge to them. And eventually, my life will be committed for the well being of others. If you think that way, you can fill your mind with wholesome thoughts, even after eating some food that you didn't intend to. But the reason I stopped eating meat is when I was small, I remember this monk giving a talk, and he was telling like, why do you fill your stomach with meat? That your all these carcasses go into your tummy, and your tummy is a cemetery. This thought came. I felt disgusted of the idea of eating meat. After that, your stomach is not a cemetery, and I realized that there are plenty of other food to eat. And I went on, and my father has been a strict, really, he has been a vegan. He didn't even consume any milk in his life, and now he is a Buddhist monk, and he's continuing to live a life eating just one meal a day, and he's doing so well in his life, healthy. And when we make a cup of tea for him, he says, add as much sugar as you want. That he doesn't even worry about having diabetes, like we all are worried about it nowadays from young age. But for him, he was very much in control. That he ate when he was hungry, and he had a lot of discipline in that area. So going back to the first precept again, if you are ending somebody's life before it is supposed to end naturally, there you are committing this crime. And in this, you have to be careful in three respects. You cannot do it on, you cannot kill. So this is called Trikoti Parisuddha Sila. For Sila to be pure from three kotis, three ends, three areas. The first thing is you don't kill yourself. Second thing is you don't ask somebody to kill it for you. The third thing is you don't praise about killing. Same with other precepts. You don't steal. You don't ask somebody to steal for you, and you don't praise about stealing something. So you are keeping that precept. So make sure you are pure, very pure in those areas. Some evil spirits did not like the Buddha because these evil spirits knew that the Buddha was about Panatipata Veramanya Dhamman Deseti. The Buddha gives Dhamma for the abandoning of killing beings. Pana Atipata. There is a prana, there is a life, and you atipata. You overcome it by taking the privilege of life for them. So if you don't do, if you are pure in all these three areas, you will be safe in your life. What is this also hinting at is being a friendly being. When a monk was bitten by a snake, this monk was brought to the Buddha. The Buddha said, monks, this monk particularly has not been friendly with animals, that he did not carefully wander in animal habitat. You have to be respectful for those beings. The animal did not come and bite. Just this monk may not have been very friendly in that area. That if you were friends with them, they know that you are a respectful being. If you are a being, if you are a human who is really making noises, frightening noises, even the monk's robes supposed to be less frightening. The colors should be blending with the forest. When monks go to forest, they need to be respectful, making less noises, knowing that there are wild animals living and this is their home now that I am making it my home. So the first precept is a unique way to have an opening about loving kindness in our mind. And I can give a whole separate Dhamma talk about loving kindness perhaps next week. And I must also share with you that I may be moving to Canada in the coming month, and therefore I may not be able to continue because I'm not sure if I will have proper internet connection during my quarantine, that they are going to put me into a house that is new, and they said they don't have internet as yet. So, and I have been telling the organizers about that. So, but I will come, I will be able to come back when things are in order. Anyways, for now, the first precept is connected with loving friendliness. You have friendliness toward not just the human beings. Like in the Metta Sutta, you have friendliness towards all beings. Your heart is a loving place. So therefore, you don't wish anybody's life to end before it is supposed to naturally end. I hope I covered enough about the first precept. The second one is about stealing. Since our childhood, we learn that it is bad to steal, and someone who makes it a habit of stealing something feel embarrassed because you are caught, because your true conscience know that you have stolen it. This is why clean conscience, they say, it's like a soft pillow. You can sleep well without worrying about anything because you have not stolen anything. Even if you happen to take something from somebody, you take a piece of paper and you leave a note that I have taken this thing and I will return the double of it on your desk. You don't steal somebody's food when you are at school, because somebody who has to consume that food will check in the fridge to see if that food is available for them, and they may go hungry because somebody else has stolen that food. If you are hungry, you can certainly ask that person, I'm super hungry. My mom did not share any food. My mom did not pack any food for me, or I could not bring any food. I don't have any money, but is it okay I have some of your food? This is so much better for your true conscience than stealing somebody's food. People steal in large scale. Only the poor people who are stealing things like picking a mango will be put behind the bars by some weird law systems. When people steal millions and hundreds of billions, sometimes uh, poor people have no power over it. So uh, when that kind of a person come into power, there is corruption everywhere, and this will contribute to the downfall of any economy, of any country, because you take the ownership of people's money as a powerful person, and that you do unwise things using that money, feeding your family, and raising the status of your family. This is also different. Somebody's mic is not mute. I don't know who that is. So make sure that you put right people, those who never steal, into the power, But even sometimes putting somebody right in, just putting one person into the power who is right is not enough, because other people who are corrupted will jail this person. And this has been happening throughout the history, and will defame them, and will not make use of their abilities to serve for the country. The third precept is about sexual misconduct, and I'll tell a story about that. There was a Japanese Zen monk who said, I have now mastered everything, and my precepts are good, and I can maintain my virtues anytime, and I have come to awakening. So his teacher said, all right, there is a test that you need to pass. So there's a bottle of sake. Sake is this Japanese liquor, the very strong liquor they have. And you can either drink that, or there's that goat outside that you can kill it by um, one um, one shot, or you can sleep with that beautiful lady. So he was given 3 challenges. Which one do you choose? You must choose one. And he ended up taking, this also connects with the fifth precept, right? He ended up taking the sake bottle, and the next morning, um, what was there? Like the goat meat was on the table, and the woman in his bed. All because he broke one precept, one that actually this is about the final precept, the fifth one about intoxications. Drinking alcohol means you are breaking all the precepts. You committed to killing, you also did sexual misconduct, and you cannot keep your sanity. You go insane because of breaking this one precept. So be very careful. Um, so it's a story that I share with people every day when I happen to talk about precepts. Think about that in your life. If you commit to drinking a little bit, that little bit will ask you to drink a little bit more, and the double of that will ask you to drink a little bit more, and it will go on and on and on without you knowing that you have done silly things. If you happen to be in an office place and you drink and do weird things, and you turn on the CCTV camera only to find out all those weird things that you have done, that you lose all your consciousness. And I mean, you are conscious, but you don't keep track of the things that you do. That this is harmful to your power. I have had doctors bringing their husbands to me in Sri Lanka, saying, my husband is the boss of so and so place, and he has a bad habit of drinking. Can we stop it? And they succumb to this drinking, and in the end their liver is damaged, and they have cirrhosis, and eventually they will not be able to live. They will have a lot of regret in their life, and continue being harmful to themselves. So I think we covered the third precept is about sexual misconduct. The fifth one is about intoxications. The one that we did not discuss about is telling lies. People, all these precepts are connected. If you happen to tell a lie, that is because you are intoxicated with your conceit. This is like the rose that the little one was talking about. When you are intoxicated with conceit, your mana, there you will say things, you will put people down, you will not know that someday you will also be, you will need the help of the cactus. The cactus who's beautiful on its own way, was able to help the rose because the rose was in need of water, and the roses have short lifespan compared to the cactus. So we are all in need of other people. So we need to be super careful about how we look at other people. The Buddha said, if you have Seyamana, Sadisamana, and Atimana, all the three are wrong. Seyamana, so Sadisamana is you are equal to others. Atimana is that you are superior than others. And Seyamana is like you are inferior than others. All three are wrong, the Buddha said, because this is conditioned attitude of people. You just don't have to compare, because everyone is unique, and all your life here is to offer help as needed and continue living harmlessly. So the third precept is about sexual misconduct. Little teenagers getting into taking nude pictures and sending to other people in Facebook, and these cannot be deleted. Facebook, even if you deactivate it, that information will be accessible in the future against you if somebody wants to use it against you. And even if you delete the profile name will be like a Facebook user, and there will be your all that information that you sent in that profile saved even after deleting it. Even if you download your Facebook profile as a folder, in that all that information will be available. Only the ones that you sent by yourself will be available, and that way, in all these data networks, these things can be recovered. This is like people digging archaeological sites. In the future, there will be data archaeology, and people will be digging information as a study platform, and will find out about yourself. So you don't need to do these kind of things. You don't need to imaginarily enjoy. You just have a good partner and commit to that partner, and dedicate your lifetime discovering the love that you otherwise cannot feel. And there you will enjoy a good married life. Until then, continue living a life without these pollutants in your mind. You will have all your focus and energy on your increasement, your development. So I will end my talk here. So clap not with just with one finger, with all five, and have all the five fluids in your: brake fluid, steering wheel fluid, gas, and fluids of the car perfectly in alignment as you drive your vehicle, your life down, uphill or downhill, whichever direction you go. Make sure you have all these in place, all five. If one is missing, you will be in danger. I guess this is a good place to end.
Thank you, Bhante Kusala. It was a wonderful talk. I would just like to summarize, because today you talked about 5 precepts: not killing, not stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lies, and final one was
Intoxications.
No intoxication. Thank you for correcting. So anybody has any question, please go ahead. We can still do a question for another couple of minutes.
Pradeep, I have a question. Vinaya.
Yes, Vinaya, please go ahead.
So thank you so much, Bhanteji, for the discourse. It was very nice, as always. One question with regards to the precept number 4, with regards to no lying. So Bhanteji, a lot of time it so happens that consider we are living here in the US and our parents are back home, and sometimes we speak with them over phone, and sometimes some of us are not keeping well, and they will ask, oh, how is your son doing, or whatever. So sometimes if you tell them that we are not keeping well, then they get worried. So in those kind of cases where, we just want to say that everything is fine, is that considered breaking the precept?
Yes. Sorry, but your intention matters here. I just said just as a joke, don't take it seriously. If your intention was to not lie, I think your intention was not to really tell a lie to them, to take anything from them, just to keep their mental peace in order, right? This was your intention. Therefore, can you even take it as a lie? You would tell something if it really mattered, right? There could come at some point that you will have to, if you continue feeling not well, and that is a prolonged illness, there will be a point where you will disclose it, but not right now. So therefore, your intention matters here. Intention is karma, the Buddha said. So you need to willingly cheat on them, and this is if you are, cheating to own their properties, or giving some medicine for somebody to end their life, and that you don't say the truth about it. Your mind knows that you did this thing. Therefore, this weaker point, the universe will catch you in that weaker point at that, at a point when you are vulnerable. Therefore, make sure your intention is clear in this.
Okay, Bhantiji. Thank you so much. Sadhu.
You're welcome. Any more questions? All right, we can end the session now.
Yes, thank you, Bhanteji, for a wonderful talk. It's always enlightening to listen to you, and you express Buddhism in such a simple language. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So we will move on to the next session. So today we have a special speaker. We have Vijay Surwade. Vijay Surwade is one of the known figure in the Ambedkarite movement. Vijay Surwade was born in June 30, 1953 in Maharashtra. He graduated in Bachelor of Arts from Mumbai University. And Vijay Surwade has a lot of collections of Dr. Ambedkar's speeches and books and everything. He started collecting it since childhood, and he has all the vast collection of photographs, rare references, books, documents, letters published by Dr. Ambedkar. This collection on Dr. Ambedkar is surprised anywhere in the world. Surwade has also a rich personal library of rare references books on the other eminent personalities like Jyotiba Phule, Shahu Maharaj, Sayaji Rai Gaikwad, Gandhiji, Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Veer Savarkar. Vijay Surwade